Alright, now we're moving on to sketching straight lines. When sketching straight lines, we need a minimum of 2 points each time we want to sketch a line. 3 makes it a bit more accurate because then you definitely know it goes through. There are 2 methods which can be used. The first method, as we have here, is the x and y intercept method, and method 2 is the gradient intercept method. We're going to be looking at method 1 first, obviously, sketching a straight line using the x and y intercepts. Now, as the name implies, the method involves plotting x and y intercepts, then joining them to sketch the straight line. But in order to do that, we need to make sure the line cuts through x at 0 and y at 0. So we need to manipulate it a little bit. Alright, here we have working example 2a. This is an example of using the x and y intercepts to help sketch. To begin with, we're going to use this equation here, 2x plus y equals 6. Okay, but that doesn't tell you the intercept, so we're going to need to manipulate and substitute. So the first thing is we're going to find the x-intercept. First of all, we need to substitute the y with the 0 in that equation. So it becomes 2x plus 0 equals 6. Now I'm just going to get rid of that, so it's 2x equals 6. Now we need to make x the subject of this equation. So we're going to divide it by 2 on both sides. X is now by itself and equals 3. That's the first part of your coordinate. So your coordinate for this one is going to be 3 and 0. Okay. Then what we're going to do is now find the y-intercept. Okay. Instead of substituting x with your your y with the 0, we're going to now substitute x with 0. So first of all, it's 2 times 0 plus y equals 6. Now obviously this cancels it out. Okay, so it really comes down to y equals 6. This is your y-intercept. So now we know that the y-intercept is 0, 6, because we've substituted the x with 0. Okay, from here you're right to plot. Okay, so for the x-intercept we know that it's 3 and 0, so we're going to go across 3. We'll just make some little lines here to show 3. So we know it's going to cross through 3 and 0. It's the same with up to the line too. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we're going to cut through 0 and 6. Okay, so there's your 2 intercepts, and from here you're going to draw your straight line through, and there you have your graph. So work example 12b is slightly different. Okay, so we're going to just do it in the same way, but we just need to manipulate it a little bit differently. So the first thing again, we're going to substitute y with 0. So it's going to be 0 equals minus 3x, take 12. So this time 0 is on this side, so we need to manipulate. So the first thing we need to do to get x to the subject is we need to remove the minus 12. You do that by plus 12 to both sides. So 12, when rewritten, is 12 equals minus 3x. Now, as you can see, minus 3x is multiplying that x, so we need to divide it by minus 3. We need to do that for both sides. Okay, so once you have 12 minus negative 3, you're going to have negative 4. So that is your coordinate. Now we write it properly. So negative 4 is 1 and 0 is your other coordinate. Okay, and that's going to come through roughly over this side. We'll just say it's there. And what we're going to do is just write the coordinate so you know it's there. Okay, now we're going to find the y-intercept by substituting x with 0. So you're going to have y equals negative 3 times 0. Okay, and minus 12. Now we know that gets rid of it. Okay, so y equals negative 12. So when we put that into a coordinate, it's 0 because that's x, and minus 12 being your y. Okay, and then you're going to find your spot. We'll just do it there, and write 0, minus 12. Okay, then we can join it up. Sorry that didn't join, but you'd get the point. Alright, method 2 is sketching a straight line using the gradient of the intercept. Now, we're going to go over this very soon, okay? But basically, this method is often used if the equation is the linear equation which we've talked about. Okay, m is your gradient, or your slope, so that's the angle of your line. C is your y-intercept, so where it cuts through y. Now the steps below, these ones here, we'll explain as we do in the work examples, but just I'll quickly go through them. So step 1 is plot a point at the y-intercept. So choose a whole number, it's easier. Step 2 is write the gradient in forms of m equals rise over run. Now you might remember rise means it going up and down, and run is going across. Okay. Step 3 is starting from the y-intercept and move the number of the units suggested by the rise. Step 4, you're going to move it as it says for the run, so you're going acrossways. And then you're going to rule a straight line through those points. So work example 3 is showing how to use rise and run and sketching using that. Alright, so as you can see, here's our formula. Now it is this, okay? It's the same thing. So M is this bit and C is this bit here. So nice and simple. Okay, so what we're going to do, here's your rise and run. The 2 is your rise, that's how much you're moving up and down. And your 5 is your run, how far across you're going. The first thing we're going to do is look at -3. That's for your y-intercept, so you're going to put a dot at your y-intercept. Okay, so the next bit is your rise. You're going to go up 2 spots. So we're going to move up 1, 2. We know it's sitting at -1. Okay. Then we're going to move across 5 spots. So we're going to move from 5, and we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then we're going to put a dot there. Then we simply draw a line throughout. Okay, that's all it is. Okay, rise over run. 2 up, 5 across. Alright, in the last example, we had 2/5 times x. Okay, this time we've just got a whole number, which is 2. So the first thing you're going to have to do is make that over a 1. That's your rise over run. So rise and run, which means you're going up 2 across 1. Okay, so if it's a whole number, put it over 1. Now here's our y-intercept, so that's where we're starting. So we're going to put a dot at our y-intercept. Okay, the second dot we're going to do is like it says, rise 2 across 1. So we're going to rise 2, 1, 2, and across 1. Okay, so we're going to go across to here. Now that would be our second point. We could do another one by simply going rise 2 and across 1. There's our third point. And you can keep doing that pattern. From there, you're going to put your line through. Okay, and that's all you have to do. Alright, so work example 4 is talking about sketching the linear graph in the form of y equals mx. There's nothing at the end here. Okay, that means it's not going to go through the y-intercept in any of the whole numbers. Okay, it goes through the y-intercept at 0. Okay, so we can just put a dot immediately at 0. Now, all it's telling us is that we're multiplying x, so whatever number you choose along your x-intercept, you're just going to times it by 3. Okay, so 3 times 1 is 3, and you can plot that straight away. So 1 across, 3 up. 2 times 3 is 2 across, 6 up, and so forth. Then you're just going to join your line like so, and we know this is going to be up here, so we're just going to keep going. Okay, so you get your straight line, and that's simple. Alright, last part is sketching linear graphs of the form y equals c and x equals a. Okay, these are two different things. So the y equals c, as we can see, is parallel to the x-axis, which means that if you have the x-axis, it's running parallel. Okay, and that has a gradient of 0 because it's flat. Alright, so and it also says and a y-intercept of c, so it just goes through the y-intercept. The line x equals a is parallel to the y-axis, which means it goes that way. Okay, and it's got an infinite gradient, which means it just keeps going up and down. Alright, so the examples are like so, and I've just given simple examples. Y equals -3. That means if you have x at 1, it's telling you that, sorry, x is 1, it just tells you that 1 would be -3, 2 would be -3, 3 would be -3, -1, -3, and so forth. So all the x, y's will be the same. So it gives you this parallel line here. Okay. With the x equals 4, as you can see, it's a vertical line, and it's just running parallel with the y, which means every number is 4. So anything that's y just means x equals 4. So it runs parallel. If you had x equals 2, you'd be running over here. If you had x equals minus 2, you'd just be running it like that. Okay, so you're just moving it across and running it through. Simple as that. Thank you. Now it is your turn. Choose a level at which you're comfortable at, and remember, have fun. So I would expect most of you to be here. If it's too easy, move. Okay? Have fun.